Hello everyone and welcome on this new midweek analysis video from Xtreme Trader. This is Salah speaking. So of course my friends, you might have noticed that this week we did not send out any Forex signals, neither in the premium group or the free group. Actually there is a good reason for that. Sadly, Angela is having some health issues at the moment, and sadly she's not able to send any Forex signals, and me personally I don't have time actually to send these signals and to manage them, and that is actually the reason why we had to stop the signals for this week. We thought at the beginning that Angela might get better by Tuesday, but sadly her condition is still not that good. She has some kind of infection and she's not able right now to focus and to send you the signals. And of course we really care about the quality of our Forex signals, so we cannot really risk sending out any signals unless Angela is totally focused and in her full health. So I really wish her a fast recovery, and of course for all of our premium members we have added 1 week extra additional of course to their membership, so it's not gonna affect them at all, but we just really hope that Angela can recover as soon as possible. So anyway, let's now begin the midweek analysis, and of course we will begin with the Euro USD. As we can see my friends, the Euro USD signal has actually worked very well, I believe. No, it didn't actually. No. Sorry, my mistake. I thought it has reversed from this point. However, as you can see right now, the Euro USD is now ranging below the safe zone, and by the way, there is a reason for that. The Euro is crashing. And of course the reason for that is because Russia has just announced that they're gonna cut off all the gas sources to entire Europe by tomorrow. That's of course gonna badly affect the euro, and as we can see, of course, if we have checked the entire euro currency, all of them are actually going deep down. So the euro is crashing sadly. And now we have to consider shorting the Euro USD at the moment, because buying it is not really an option at the moment after what happened. However, by the way, I just wanted to highlight that the rest of the signals are doing very well. As we can see, the pound USD running in 47 pips of profit. AUD USD is running in total of 55, and it was actually in total of 100, but currently running in 55 pips of profit. USD CAD has went to the take profit level without triggering the sell order. Same goes to the USD JPY. USD CHF, as you can see, currently running in about 19 pips of profit. The gold has reversed from the buy entry for about 130 pips before reversing back to the original entry, currently running in 20 pips. So of course it's only the Euro USD which has failed, and of course the reason for that was the news about Russia cutting off the gas sources. So anyway, let's now begin analyzing the market, and let's now see what we can do with the Euro USD. So let me first delete the old signal, and let's see now what we can do with this pair. Actually, my friends, we need to consider, sorry, I had to stop the video I had to pause the recording for a moment. Anyway, we have to consider actually that we are facing right now here a strong key support level, which has recently broken out from. Now, the general formation of the structure, as you can see it right now, is we're having here a real level of a resistance, and then we had right there a false breakout, which means that this was actually supposed to be a new support, and the market was actually supposed to continue to rise from that level of a previous support. And sadly that didn't happen again because of the news, which means right now that most likely the Euro USD is going to be pushed to continue the fall. So it's a matter of where exactly we can start shorting the Euro USD. Well, I'm actually a person who believes strongly in the support and resistance trend lines. So if we draw here a resistance trend line just like this, my friends, and all I need to do is simply drag the very same resistance trend line which I have just drawn and just place it at the nearest resistance trend line. Check out what happened. We can see clearly that we had right here a resistance trend line, which was previously also a support trend line, and if we actually continue the line, we can see that it was also still a resistance trend line, which means that the market is actually able to keep this level as a resistance trend line. Keep going. We can see that also it has been respected right there as a resistance trend line. Then we had here a false breakout. Now that means that the Euro USD actually was supposed to become here a new support trend line, but instead the market has actually made a false breakout. Keep going. we can see that the market has also respected that level as a resistance trend line. By the way, keep in mind I'm on the 4-hour time frame. Now keep going. So that the bullish breakout candle has confirmed that finally that resistance trend line has become finally a support trend line. But sadly, it couldn't hold the position for a very short time, and instantly the market has made here another bearish breakout from that level. Now we can see that the market right now has started the day. Actually, we are right now on the new daily candle, which has just been opened, as we can see right here, just opened like 30 minutes ago. And the time right now in Dubai, it's 1:26 a.m. You see how much, guys, you mean to me to make the video this time? Anyway, let's see now. What happened is that the market seems like it's gonna make a bullish candle right here, and I believe that we can start shorting the Euro USD again from that level of a resistance trend line. And the interesting thing is, if we check on horizontal support level, we can see that the market actually has been creating here a strong resistance as well. So we can assume that the market is going to continue the rise. And actually, this is a lot. Let me just go now with the 1-hour time frame. And the reason I moved to the 1-hour time frame is I want to see the details of that resistance. Now keep in mind that we had right here a real level of a resistance, which was also right here a real level of a resistance as well. Which means, now let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. Okay, now that actually makes a lot more sense to me. Now we can see that the market might actually rise for about, I would say about 37 pips before we can start shorting it. We will be shorting at the same level of the previous support at 1.01525. And if that happens, the target, my friends, has to be placed right there, at the nearest resistance to our entry, which means we are aiming approximately 107 pips profit from this signal. Meanwhile, the safe zone is going to be ranging just till here, till the peak of the resistance at 1.0236, because that is actually going to be the zone where we can actually expect from the market to be ranging at before finally falling down. And the safe zone will be ranging for about 62 pips. Let me now please write the signal for you. And there goes the signal, my friends, for the Euro USD. Hopefully it's gonna be a good one, and hopefully we will make good profits out of it. Let's now move to the next pair. Let's now move to the Pound USD. Alright, so I want to highlight something, that the Pound USD has indeed reversed at the opening time of Monday, and it has went all the way very near to the take profit level, just kissed the level and then reversed. It has went in 115 pips of profit. Now the buy order is no longer valid. The Pound USD has already reversed from the entry and has reversed exactly from the take profit level as well. So now what's the next step that we can do with the Pound USD? In my opinion, we are going right now to start shorting this pair. Let me show you something interesting. If I go to the daily chart, we can see this candle right here. This candle right here, my friends, the last one, it actually shows a very strong pressure from the buyers and sellers. And actually it shows us the fact that the market has not actually been able to simply break out from that level of a previous support right here at 1.20270. The market actually is still ranging below that level of a resistance. Let me just make it more clear and accurate. Exactly. And just like that, I'm drawing the zone. Exactly, that's the zone. So actually, if this candle has managed to close above that zone right there, we could actually consider buying the Pound USD, but that did not happen. So this candle here shows us that there is a weakness in that level, which means we cannot really buy the Pound USD at the moment. So we have to consider that the market most likely is going to continue the fall to create double bottom pattern. So after that being confirmed on the daily chart, let's move to the 4-hour time frame. Now on the 4-hour time frame, we can see clearly right here. Let me just zoom out to delete this one, and let me just show you that we had right here, exactly right there, a false breakout. So this was a false breakout right there, which was previously a real level of the resistance. And we can now say safely that the market has indeed respected the same level of the real resistance, as we can see right here as well, at 1.20625. This was the false breakout, and these two attempts were actually the real level of the resistance. So the safest place to start shorting the pound USD is gonna be at the same level of the real resistance, which means we have to wait for the market to rise for about 38 pips before we can start shorting it. And if we check the resistance trend line as well, we can drop it all the way like that, and we can see also that it matches up along with the analysis, and we can assume that the market is gonna most likely be respecting that resistance trend line, and the pound USD will continue the fall. And if that happens, we can actually score big time, because we are having here a support trend line. And we can see right now that the pound USD is creating a very strong, actually it's a very narrow channel right there. Now, we have to wait for the pound USD to break out from that channel. If the breakout was bearish, and I believe it's gonna be massive, because it's gonna make what we call the price explosion. Price explosion meaning a strong bearish movement, and most likely the pound USD will continue to fall all the way till it reaches the lowest level of the support at 1.17780. But that's not gonna happen instantly, in my opinion. Let me just tell you what I'm thinking is gonna happen. The pound USD is gonna make here a bearish breakout. Then it's gonna be reversing at that support at 1.19320, and then it's gonna rise a little bit more, respecting again the same level of the resistance trend line, and after that it's gonna continue the fall. Of course, after it retest the real level of the resistance right there at 1.20090. Anyway, if we started shorting the pound USD from that level, we can keep the trade running all the way till it reaches that level of a support exactly right here at 1.19265. But if you want to keep the trade running till it reaches that support, you have the freedom to. I cannot actually give you a signal with about 230 pips of profit. That's just not my style at all. I don't like to give these unrealistic signals. The safe zone, however, is going to be ranging till the peak of the real level of the resistance at 1.21519, which means that's actually a lot. Let's just make it right there. The safe zone, actually I forgot that I'm working on the 4 hours. I thought I'm on the 15-minute time frame. I'm used to it because the whole day I was scalping the market on the 15-minute time frame, so my brain is still used to it. Anyway, the safe zone will be ranging for about 62 pips. Meanwhile, the take profit level is going to be placed for about 137 pips. And there goes our signal, my friends, for the pound USD. Let's now move to the next pair. Let's now take a look at the AUD USD. Alright, so as we can see, the AUD USD has also reversed right from the buy level and has went in total of 102 pips of profit and reversed just like 10 pips from the take profit level. However, this signal is no longer valid because the pullback, which I have talked about, has already happened. So this movement has already happened. Therefore, the buy order is no longer valid. We cannot now buy the AUD USD if it falls down again to that level, my friends. So meaning we have right now to get rid of the old signal, and let's now move to the new one. By the way, that reminds me about some comments which I have seen recently in the channel. It's not a bad comments, it's just a confused comments. They are saying, how come the weekly analysis starts with the buy order for the market, and then on the midweek analysis you change it to the sell? Well, it's really simple. I don't even know why I have to explain this, but the market is keep moving, my friends. It just keeps changing, and if I give you a signal to start buying from that level, and the take profit level has been reached, then that's it. I mean, I cannot keep buying, or I cannot actually tell you to keep the buy order for the entire week. That's not gonna happen. My whole analysis actually was based on the pullback, and I have sent you the signal to trade this pullback. So now we have to see what should we do next after that pullback happened. We cannot keep another buy order. That's not how things works. We have right now to track the market and see what price actions has occurred during these 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, and let's see what is the market planning to do, and we're hoping to be able to read it, to be able to reach where the market is going to, and hopefully it's going to take us along with it. However, sorry for the boring speech. Let's now see what we can do next with the AUD USD. Actually, the interesting thing about the AUD USD, that it has actually created right here a very strong resistance trend line, as we can see. And I need to go to the daily chart. Now we can see clearly that the market is indeed respecting that level of a resistance trend line, and the candle has already reached that level. Now keep in mind that the daily candle has actually failed to close above that level of a resistance trend line. If this was a strong bullish breakout candle, it would have been a totally different story. We will be considering buying the asset. However, that's not the story, and the AUD/USD has managed to close below that level of a resistance trend line, meaning we have left with one option, which is shorting the market. And I believe that the AUD/USD is going to continue the fall till it creates a double bottom pattern. So, very similar to the pound USD, let's now move to the 4-hour time frame. Now on the 4-hour time frame, let me just get rid of this line. It's annoying. Now we need to highlight the real level of the resistance, and based on that we are going to start shorting the market. I would like to say that we're having right here exactly the line just came on it at 0.69707. Let's track this line here. So what did happen actually when the market has reached that level of a resistance? Almost every single time the market reached that level, it was actually showing a strong reversal. And there we have right here one false breakout, and here another false breakout. Then we can see that the same level of the resistance at 0.69707 has actually been reversing as well, which means this was the real level of the resistance as well, and the market has actually been respecting that level as a real resistance. Keep going. We can see in the past as well that the market has also respected that level as a real resistance. And also it was a very strong key support level as well. So this level as on 0.69707 cannot be ignored. Right now the market is actually facing right here a support level, which was it was actually a resistance in the past. Now we can actually assume that the AUD/USD has a chance to make one final pullback, retesting that level of a resistance, and then we can start shorting it. And keep in mind also that we're having here a strong support trend line, which means we can of course keep in mind that we are actually depending mainly on the bigger time frame. We're actually depending on the major resistance trend line right on the daily chart, which means we are actually depending on this level. Let me just make it more accurate, just like that. Perfect. So we're actually depending on that major level of a resistance trend line on the daily chart. Now we can assume that the AUD/USD will rise right here, and again this channel is getting narrow, and we can expect from the pair to fall again, breaking out from that support trend line, and makes a major fall all the way at least to reach that level of a real support as 0.67700. So that's gonna be our entry, and that's gonna be right there our target, which means we are aiming approximately 165 pips profit from the signal. Meanwhile, this safe zone will be ranging just a little bit above that level of a resistance trend line for about, I would say, 55 pips. And there goes our signal, my friends, for the AUD/USD. Let's now move to the next pair. Let's now take a look at the USD CAD. Okay, so as you can see, the USD CAD has reversed right from the take profit level, which makes the sell order no longer valid because the market has indeed fallen already and reached immediately the take profit level without, of course, trigger our sell level. However, what can we do next with the USD CAD? I believe it's very obvious that this pair is going to continue the rise. That is a very strong support zone, as you can see, at 1.28610. And if I switch now back to the daily chart, we can notice here the strong rejection. And actually, let me just tell you that I believe in this candle. This candle actually, especially also this one right there, once you see these kind of candles at the support level, you can actually take it as a confirmation or a sign that the AUD/USD or the market in general is getting ready for a bullish reversal. Actually, we can see a very similar candle has appeared right there. Look at these two candles. They are my favorite candles. These are the reversed hammer, which once being seen on the support zone, we can actually expect that the market is gonna make a bullish reversal, and indeed that has happened. And we can see it also right there on a support level. Once it has appeared, look at that movement. The market has went for about, I think, about 300 pips, maybe 570 pips. And anyway, now we can see that this very similar candle has appeared right there, and it is also right here as well. So now we can consider buying the USD CAD. Now going to the 4-hour time frame, all we need to do is identify the real level of a support and resistance. Now let's keep in mind that we have right here a bullish breakout candle. And by the way, speaking about price action, that breakout candle, that price action usually indicates a continuation in the momentum. Which means if you have seen any bullish breakout candle, which looks like that with a very small tiny tail at the bottom and long wick at the top, usually it indicates that the market is indeed gonna continue. Sorry, we are talking about breakout candle. So once you see this candle has appeared on a resistance, breaking out from a resistance, it usually indicates that the market is gonna continue the rise instantly. However, I cannot send you a signal to start buying instantly. We have to find first the safest entries. Now, we need to focus on that candle because the whole trick is about this candle. We need to identify the nearest support to that candle. And the nearest support, as you can see, lies exactly right here at 1.28478. Check this out. This was actually the nearest support to that candle because right here we had the support and we had here a support as well. Then we had right here a small resistance, and instantly the market has made the breakout from that resistance, which was previously a support. Now, it's very simple. We have to wait for the USD CAD to fall for about 33 pips before we can start buying the asset. And we can keep the trade running till the USD CAD reaches the real level of the resistance at 1.30588. Because as we can see, we had right here a false breakout. Meanwhile, we can see that the market has been respecting that level of a real resistance. So I believe that the market is going to continue the rise till it respect or retest the same level of the real resistance. Which means we're aiming 210 pips. Again, that's not my style at all. That's not me. I like to give more realistic signals. That being said, I'm choosing the nearest strong key resistance level as my target. And as we can see, we can actually make about 140 pips profit from this signal. Meanwhile, the safe zone will be ranging just a little bit below that support zone, giving the candles some space to breathe and to expand. So meaning the safe zone is ranging for about 58 pips and the take profit level is gonna be about 140 pips. And there goes your signal, my friends, for the USD CAD. Let's now move to the next pair. Let's move to the USD JPY, which I never guess it right. I mean, okay, it has went indeed in the right direction, but sadly did not trigger the buy order. Well, that's much better than failing or going against in the opposite direction. I'm still happy with this. So anyway, I want to keep the same resistance and support trend lines from the last analysis, and based on them, I'm going to decide our entry for the USD JPY. Actually, the buy order is gonna still remain the same. However, we have right now to start buying the USD JPY right from that level of a real support at 136.302. And if we check in the past, we can see clearly it was also a real level of the resistance. And this movement right here, my friends, was simply a false breakout. So meaning the market most likely is going to continue climbing its way based on that supported trend line. So we can assume that the market is going to be reversing right there at that support. Maybe it has a potential to fall just for very few pips, reaching that level of a support trend line, and afterwards is gonna continue flying. I don't see any way for the USD JPY to go. I don't see it bearish at all at the moment. It seems to me like the USD JPY is very strong bullish right now, and frankly speaking, I would say you can start buying the USD JPY right away. But I just really hate giving buy signals right on the support level, so I'm actually avoiding that. I want to give you the safest orders. So we have to wait for the pair to fall for about 51 pips before we can start buying it. Meanwhile, the safe zone is going to be placed right there at the nearest resistance to our entry at 136. Okay, let's just make it more realistic. Okay, 137.892, which means we are aiming 155 pips profit from the signal. Meanwhile, the safe zone is going to be ranging just a little bit right here till the lowest level of the support at 135.583, and the safe zone is going to be ranging for about 72 pips. And there goes the signal, my friends, for the USD JPY. Let's now move to the next pair. And let's now move to the USD CHF. Actually, for the USD CHF, I don't see any reason to change this signal. For me, it seems like still valid. I mean, I don't really see it right now rising. It's supposed to be rising, but I don't see it rising at all. I cannot give you any signal against my own analysis. It's just ranging at the entry so far, and I think nothing is going to be changed about the USD CHF. The signal remains just simply the same. So let's now move to the next pair, and let's go to the gold. Okay, now for the gold, I have to mention something. That support trend line right there has actually been broken out from. So right now, we cannot really rely on that entry. I have to tell you this, something. This signal is still the same, but however, we have to change the entry. The entry right now, my friends, is going to be changed. And right now, all I need to do is simply change the lines. And of course, again, I have to remind you, the reason to change the signal is simply because we have actually been relying on that support trend line. And as you can see, the market has indeed respected that level of a support trend line and reversed right on it. But however, the gold seems like it has actually respected that level of a real resistance. And right now it has fallen. And I believe it's going to continue to fall below that level of a support trend line, making the whole signal right now no longer valid, I would say. Now, where exactly can we start buying the gold? I would say the safest level to start buying the gold is going to be right here at the strongest key support level at 1707.11. That's going to be actually the safest level to start buying the gold. We have to get rid now of the support trend lines and just adjust the entry to be exactly right there. That's going to be much more safer option for the gold. I don't want to repeat the whole analysis from the weekly analysis video. All I did right here is simply adjusting the entry to match up with my own analysis. And right now we can see that the market has actually been creating here a real level of a support, a real level of a support, a real level of a support. Then we have right here the false breakout, making 1707.11 much more safer option to start buying the gold. And of course, the safe zone is going to be ranging for about 216 pips. Meanwhile, the take profit level is going to be remaining the same with about, I would say, 575 pips of profit. Now, of course, my friends, for the gold is totally different story. 500 pips is actually achievable, and this more is actually a realistic take profit level. So that's everything for the midweek analysis. I believe, my friends, it's going to be a very good week, and really hopefully everyone is going to make some decent and good profits with my signals. I would like to always hear from you. What did the signals do to you? How did you make any profits from these signals? And hopefully, if you have learned how to analyze the market by your own. And in the end, of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, and of course share the video, help everyone to see this video, and hopefully everyone is going to be able to make some good profits with these signals. So in the end, I hope that it's informative to you, and I would like to thank you for watching.